How can we collectively put an end to tipping without impacting the workers? Demand employers pay living wages. By paying people a livable wage. Fair wages for workers means no need for tips. Legislation that says that employers aren't able to reduce pay below minimum due to expected tips. Increase minimum wage and abolish the god-awful bullshit of tipped employees being a separate category in minimum wage. Pay workers what they're worth and treat them like they have any sort of value. I don't give a fuck. If you're a small business owner and can't afford to pay waiters and waitresses, maybe you shouldn't have started a fucking business to begin with. Eat at restaurants that pay flat wages instead of tipped wages. They're way more expensive though. Maybe we could start a movement to simply stop tipping and instead pay service charges or higher prices for meals. This is a noble cause that requires collective effort and understanding from all stakeholders. To put an end to tipping, we must first understand the root causes of tipping and its impact on workers. We must also consider the implications of eliminating tipping on workers' income and job security. We can start by exploring alternative payment models such as service charges, living wages, or SU. You don't buy short-term paying for long-term gain. Tip with handjobs. Subvert the culture and make it so being tipped is embarrassing as well as pay a fair wage. How about instead of tipping, customers can offer their servers a positive affirmation in exchange for their service? Customers can choose from a list of affirmations like, "You are a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day," or "Your customer service skills are out of this world," and give it to their server as a way of showing appreciation. The server can then collect these affirmations and use them as daily affirmations to boost their self-confidence and motivation. Or, we could turn tipping into a mini scavenger hunt. Customers can leave a tip, but they have to hide it somewhere in the restaurant and give the server a clue to find it. The server can then go on a fun scavenger hunt to find the hidden tip, making for a memorable and entertaining experience for both the customer and the server. Again, these ideas are just for fun and not the most practical solutions. But who knows? Maybe they could spark some creativity and lead to more practical and innovative ways of showing appreciation to service industry workers. Drop a link to my self-help seminar on your receipt. It's far more helpful and profitable than any monetary amount you'd rip. I don't know how legal it would be, but you could make a law that servers must be paid at minimum 20% of the bill by the employer and then accepting tips is outlawed. You don't buy short-term paying for long-term gain. I detest situations where there is no service provided but a gratuity is still required. The tip is not the same for someone who just delivered you your takeaway pizza order as opposed to someone who really waited on your table for a 2-hour dinner. If I'm dining out at a sit-down establishment where they offer more individualized service, or if it's a mom-and-pop type of place, I'll tip. Yet at a quick food restaurant, I won't leave a tip. I just tip when I'm served or when something is delivered. For calling my name across a restaurant so I could come receive my food. I'm not tipping the person. You don't because the workers aren't bitching about tipping, it's only cheap-ass customer who think it's a problem. I was a delivery driver for many years and I would never give up untaxed cash income for a weekly check at minimum wage. The tip is why you get your food hot and not cold and 20 minutes late. 1,100 in cash tips Super Bowl weekend one year. You can't. Even if you give them a living wage. Some workers make way more with tips than they would just on a living wage. They would not want to give that higher payout up. What you need to do is to find a way to stop this tipping culture bleed. Wait staff, delivery drivers, cabbies, salon workers, they can still be tipped. It has been a tradition for generations. Everyone else? No. You need to pull that back. But, again, it is going to be very hard to do that because the younger generation has been raised by an internet where if you like something from someone, no matter what it is, you tip. Doesn't matter if it is tradition or not. You tip. You need to change that mindset if you really want to stop the bleed. Restaurants love the system of tipping because it offloads the salary of the waitstaff onto the customer. Waitstaff love the system because they very often make far more money than they would on the hourly pay rate of a non-specialized worker on comparable fields. The only people who don't like the system are the customers. And customers have only one real way to change the practices of any business. Don't give them money. In short, you can't. Only financial pressure can make a change. And that would harm the waitstaff until the lack of customers, workers forced restaurants to change. I detest situations where there is no service provided but a gratuity is still required. The tip is not the same for someone who just delivered you your takeaway pizza order as opposed to someone who really waited on your table for a 2-hour dinner.